I'm back on Thursday today, mostly because I felt like it, and partly because I had meetings yesterday, so it's kind of a wash. How are y'all doing today though? It's almost the end of the week, and that's something to be excited for. Last week I made a video about my thoughts on the season right after it dropped, and I think it's a good idea to revisit those. So that's exactly what I'm doing today. I'm also going over the new Arenas Flash event and the new lore. I think it's worth mentioning quickly, the Bocek and Spitfire both got a nerf a couple days ago, so you may see a difference there in-game. Bocek's ammo stack and damage were decreased while the Spitfire's damage and magazine were actually both decreased as well. I'm not seeing a huge difference in-game though, as far as the usage goes, but that's just me. Anyways, let's jump on in. Let's start off with Arenas. This is probably the thing that I feel the most different about a week later, while still feeling the exact same way about it. And I know that doesn't make any sense, but let me explain it to you. I still absolutely love the Arenas gameplay, weapon store, the strategic shooter side of it. It really is a great mode, and it's a lot of fun. But there's something that's souring the experience of it big time. And that's people who go AFK or quit. The whole experience can be ruined just because a teammate quits in the first round. To have consistent games, you really need to have two friends playing with you, I think. And even if you do, there's no guarantee the other team does. So after a round, you might have one guy against all three of you, and that's not fun either, really. So I do hope Respawn puts in like an abandon penalty or something to help mitigate this, because I really like to enjoy this game mode to the fullest extent, but it can be really difficult sometimes. Especially now that there's the Arena Flash event, which I mentioned a little bit earlier, where for 1 week you can gain Battle Pass stars and Apex packs, but the challenges pretty much hinge on you having a team or either grinding really long on it. So I'm 100% on board with the mode. I'm 100% on board with everything about Arenas, but I don't think it's in a healthy state right now. The lore gets better and better. This really is rivaling Broken Ghost, I think, and each end of the comic is having a great twist so far. Even the Twitter comic last week really enhanced this week's comic as well. And it was so fun to see two of Gibraltar's family members, so if you haven't seen that on Twitter, check it out on the official Play Apex Twitter site. This week we saw, spoiler alert here, we saw Loba being saved by Valkyrie. Valkyrie doing a little flirting because shoot or shoot, you know what I mean? Loba didn't seem too receptive to it in the comic, but in-game she seems a bit more on board with it, with their lines together. So Tom Costello has also hinted that their relationship might get a bit closer. However, in the comic we also see Loba running to Bangalore, and OMG, the Loba lore shippers are going wild. As many of you know, this is one of the two Apex ships I'm invested in. We also find out Valkyrie is familiar with the vines. She's seen them other places, perhaps in her journeys while smuggling. Either way, there's no cure for the allergic reaction they cause, and let's just say Bangalore is intent on finding a cure for it. The lore is still holding up, and this continues to be something I look forward to every week. I've played on Olympus maybe under a dozen times tops, for sure. And since the season has started, I'm just really not interested in the map right now. The one POI change isn't enough to change up the map and make it feel fresh after grinding it all last season. I have been playing ranked though, and just loving World's Edge again. I do think this is just about the perfect map. You can typically find me landing at staging or countdown. I'll see you down there. As far as the loot pool goes, they said they nerfed the amount of times you see a white shield, but I'm still seeing them pretty frequently. You know what I'm not seeing though? Backpacks. Maybe some coding got switched or something in there, huh? Loot pool overall is fine. I think World's Edge's biggest problem is the loot density, which is solved in Olympus. I think if we could take the loot density of either the new King's Canyon or Olympus and put it on World's Edge, that would make it the perfect map. That would really push it over the edge there. As mentioned earlier, the Bocek and Spitfire did get their nerfs, but I know I'm still dying to them constantly. We've got Hawkeye, Legolas, Katniss all on the same team, and they're really putting in the work, I'll tell you. But the point stands, I think, that, and I think it goes to show even after the nerf that this is still true. It's still a really fun weapon that's unique, and it's so satisfying when you get a hit with it. You feel rewarded when you get that hit, and I would actually pick it up over the 30-30 or G7 still. I guessed last week that this battle pass was going to be the quickest way, the quickest, I'm stumbling over my words here, the quickest one to get through yet. And so far, I'm not wrong. There we go. You know, when you can get a sentence out, it's nice. I'm already on battle pass level 22 after just over 1 week of playing. Usually I'm happy if I get to 11 or 12 after a week, so to be almost double that is insane. The new Arena Flash event is helping too. It hasn't been easier to get a battle pass level right now, which is nice. You can cruise through that. I was really worried about Valkyrie and her pig rate and her flying, but she's actually much easier to hit in the air than, let's say, someone jumping off an octane pad, in my opinion. The thing that really draws the line between a good Valkyrie player and a fantastic Valkyrie player is that a fantastic Valkyrie player will flank unpredictably. The unpredictable movement is really what will set her apart, so if you can get her almost like a Wraith but in the air, you're going to be golden. If you stay predictable with your movements, you're not going to have as much success, I've found. The other thing I think is worth noting is, and I didn't bring it up last week because it was on launch, but I'm going to bring it up now, is I'm actually still having some server issues too. Not with getting in the game. I can get into the game, but once I do, I find myself rubber banding a lot and stuttering. I did some server maintenance the other day to help with this, and it did help a little bit, but I'm still seeing it consistently, which can be frustrating. Especially right when I'm in a fight or landing, and that's when it happens the most. Has anybody else been having this issue? So I feel like some of the rosiness of the new update has kind of slid away once you start playing it, and that's with any update. That isn't to say I don't love Legacy though, the content is all there, it just needs to come together a little bit more for me. I'm going to change my grading from an A- to a B+ because the arenas and server issues really kill the vibe for me. Also, Olympus is still underwhelming, so I'm falling back hard on World's Edge. What are your thoughts on it so far, everyone?